Okay, guys, so last night they did tweet out another teaser for what could potentially be coming soon to Dragon Ball Legends. So buckle up, get your popcorn, get ready, because we're going to go a lot of different places for this video. I'm talking about all the things that I think are going to happen, some of my predictions. I'm going to reiterate those again if you guys aren't aware. If you haven't been on Twitter, you haven't seen the previous video that I put out before Black Friday and my predictions with that. I'm going to just go ahead and reiterate some of what I'm thinking is going to happen for the end of the year for Dragon Ball Legends. So again, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hit that subscribe, of course, if you are new to the channel for more content, as well as a notification so you don't miss anything we upload here on the channel. So let me go ahead and explain. They tweeted out this tweet. We're going to read it, and then other than that, we're going to talk about, again, my predictions for upcoming characters, Zenkais, etc. So be sure to listen all the way through. Here we go. It's chilly out there, so make sure to dress up appropriately and get yourself warmed up. Don't go losing to that cold. So a couple of things are happening here. For one, they're talking about how it's cold. Be sure to dress up as well. And then on top of that, they say don't lose to the cold. So they're not, just for the record, I'm going to just go ahead and get the very, very obvious things out of the way. There's no reason for them to tweet out a hint for things that I've seen like King Cold or any really, really niche options like that. Sure, it would be cool to get those characters in the game, whoever you may be thinking. But yeah, something like that's not happening in terms of this tweet. That's not what they're doing here. So let me go ahead and talk about what I think this could really, really mean. So I'm going to just say in the very beginning of the video that I have been saying for a month now, maybe a little bit longer, that I think Gogeta Blue is finally on the table. Now, I think this time's a little different. You guys have probably heard in the community, oh, Gogeta Blue's next, or this and that. And it almost became a bit of a meme because we were thinking that, you know, he could have came out maybe a year ago, maybe longer than that when the movie came out, etc. But they pushed him back and pushed him back. But I think this time he's finally officially on the table to come out really, really soon. And just going to go ahead and start with that, right? There are a lot of indicators. We'll get to those in a minute, but I think he's finally coming. Now, what does this mean? Is this Gogeta Blue here like Brad saying, or, you know, Nas is down here tweeting? No, I don't think this is Gogeta Blue's teaser, because for one, they're not just going to tweet out some weird teaser for him. He is probably the most hyped thing other than UI they're going to release on this game and anytime soon, in terms of like the build up for him, for a lot of people, etc. So no, they're not just going to tweet something like this. Expect the Legends and Stuff announcement, and I'm going to reinforce that statement by saying I already kind of knew this because there are things that, you know, we discuss privately sometimes, but in his video for the Ultra Instinct Goku reveal, Dino Rhymestyle did say that he'd record another Legends and Stuff for this month. So keep that in mind. Until we see a Legends and Stuff announcement, the big banner is not being revealed yet. So that it's something that warrants the Legends and Stuff, by the way. It has to be that. So keep that in mind. Now, the Dragon Ball Super Broly anniversary was actually today. It's 2 years ago today that the movie came out. So keep that in mind too. Now, what do I think this is alluding to? I think there's a very strong chance that this week, one of many things happen. We could potentially get a Coat Goku, Coat Vegeta, whether they're blue or not. You guys saw the thumbnail. It could happen, right? That could be a thing. They could even be like a duo character. Extending on that, they could also do like the back-to-back Kamehameha, Gallic Gun, Dragon Ball Super Broly, Goku and Vegeta. That doesn't get really depicted that often in media. I mean, it does, but not in that gotchas that often, other than like Buchigiri. I don't think Dokkan doesn't have that card yet. So anyways, long story short, they could also do something like that. Who knows, right? And we've seen characters recently pop up in Super Attack animations or Ultimate animations, even if they're not directly an assist character, like with Bergamo, some other characters too. So that's one thing that could potentially happen here. And if they go that route, right, if it is Dragon Ball Super Broly themed, that could actually branch off into numerous things, right? We're going to come and talk about some of those things, but I wanted, before we get a little too deep in the video, like I said, a Legends and Stuff announcement will be coming, because I already know, you guys already know, because he said in this video, Dino recorded one, so he's going to be on another Legends and Stuff for this month, right? So aside from that, there is going to be a Jump Festa reveal for Legends 2 on the 20th. So again, they're going to have the big stage. They're going to have the big stage. Now, V-Jump is somewhere in here too. It should be coming out with leaks in the next couple of days. I don't think whatever is going to actually wind up being like the big New Year's banner, I don't think that's going to be in V-Jump. Again, I'm reiterating, I think this week there could potentially be a new character, but it's not going to be quote-unquote Gogeta Blue. I think it could be, if it is Dragon Ball Super Broly themed, I think it's going to be like a Code Goku or something like that. It could also potentially wind up being some sort of like Zenkai character. I want to kind of throw out the idea that what they did with the Zenkai Awakening for the Legends Limited Goku was, when Gohan's rotation time was done, he was able to get the quote-unquote free Zenkai 7. They did add Goku to that shop as an option. Goku's rotation, if I recall correctly, for the people that had him at 7-star, just exchanging his Awakening Z power, should be able to get him the Zenkai 7 now, quote-unquote, for free, once again, at this time. And that means that his rotation should be done. They might be adding in another Zenkai Awakened Legends Limited character to the Rush shop upon update. That could could be today. That could either be Beerus. Just gonna float that out there. Beerus never got added in. Beerus is such an anomaly because obviously the way they handled him initially, 20,000 CC summon banner for Zenkai 7, etc. They tried to really just make it as premium as possible for Beerus, for the people that did spend on him. But that's another story. Other than that, though, they could potentially be Zenkai Awakening another Legends Limited character like either Goten, SS3 Goku, or Super Vegito. My money would be on Super Vegito just because I think we're going to see a very strong Fusions resurgence headlined by the two most recent Zenkai Awakenings they got for Kid Gotenks. I don't even need to say that, just Gotenks in general. I was going to say Kid Goku for some reason, thinking of Legends Road. Anyways, Super Gogeta most notably, right? So that's what they've been kind of doing here in terms of this team. But there has been a very strong undertone, which is why I think it's very possible movies sees more stuff. There's been a strong undertone for movies lately. They've been putting out a lot of movies characters over the last several months, and if you follow what I do to predict characters, I follow the trends, right? And the trend has been that up until the Black Friday, it was like, oh, hey, Jiren's coming. I think it's really obvious, right? And I kept saying that. And if Jiren is coming, he's most likely paired with UI. People were thinking it was too soon. No, that's not too soon. There's no such thing as too soon, especially not a couple of years into the game's lifespan. There's no such thing as too soon. They'll just kind of recycle content if you're concerned about if we get Gogeta Blue now, what they're going to do for 3-year anniversary. They could do another Vegito Blue and Gogeta Blue. It doesn't matter. They could do UI Ultra Instinct. Like, it doesn't really matter. Like, they could do many things, right? They'll just recycle content. We'll get another SS4 Goku, another SS4 Vegeta. We'll SS4 Gogeta eventually. Like, they can recycle stuff. They can do new stuff. It doesn't matter. There's no such thing as too soon. You don't have to worry about these dates predetermined. Speaking of which, off on a tangent here, New Year's is actually a bigger day. It's the most notable holiday in Japan. So their best stuff should come out around New Year's as opposed to the anniversary. And Gogeta. Goresh did kind of, specify that to me on a couple of different occasions. So that's another reason why they're probably going to just pretty much blow their load to end the year here with their most hyped things. And it's crazy to say back-to-back UI and then SS Blue Gogeta, back-to-back Legends Limited, but from their perspective, right? From revenue, capping off a bad year probably because of COVID, obviously, stuff like that, they probably will wind up being in a position where it's a good idea. So just be aware of that everything is on the table for this. And if we do get that, I think on the topic of Zenkais, Broly could potentially get his Zenkai soon. Maybe they do the Goku Vegeta alongside a Broly Fury Zenkai today, or maybe over the course of the next week. Because again, we do have to burn some time because, again, Gogeta Blue, this teaser can't be for him. It's a week too early, right? We have the Jump Festa. We have the video and stuff that hasn't even been scheduled in the news yet. There are a lot of things that are still on the table that could potentially be coming, right? So otherwise, in terms of what I expect to see, like I said, Blue Gogeta, I think, but I want to kind of throw out a couple of other ideas for potential Zenkais that could come out in the immediate future. Super Saiyan God Vegeta, Super Saiyan God Goku. Golden Frieza, I think, is on the table too. And if we put Golden Frieza on the table, you have to put the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta from Resurrection F on the table as well, considering the Blue Goku did get his, although that was because he was part of the story, and that's another, topic altogether. So that's one thing I want to kind of talk about otherwise. Like I said, a lot of things are on the table, but particularly Dragon Ball Super Broly content, I think, is really on the table. And things could get really interesting if they decide to Zenkai this dude. I don't think that's going to happen immediately, but eventually every character pretty much will get one, right? So last thing I want to talk about is Dragon Ball Super Broly content. If we are getting Gogeta Blue, what does that type of banner look like? Consider the fact that Super Saiyan Blue Vegito here, aside from this Vegito and the free options here, the red one, of course, right? This green Gogeta here, purple Vegito here, the other Gogeta. This guy kind of, it was a little bit, not at the exact same time, but he came out alongside Broly. Pretty much all these characters that I mentioned came out alongside their main antagonist. And I know a lot of people are looking for the Fury Broly Zenkai. Not Fury Broly, excuse me, Super Saiyan Full Power. That's another thing on the table too, by the way. I don't think that's immediate, but I think it's a very strong possibility that they continue this trend of allowing these characters to come out alongside their main antagonist, in which case Blue Gogeta might come out on a step-up banner, which does need multiple sparkings, by the way. So that's another thing to consider. Might come out alongside the Broly, right? So I want to wrap this up to say, I was kind of all over the place in this. I said I would be, right? Just to summarize, I don't think that we're going to get the Gogeta Blue announcement for this week for the content update this week. It could be many things because I think their schedule, it normally would be new character this week, Zenkai next week, new character following week. That's their typical schedule, but I think because of Jump Festa, because of what they have planned, I think that their schedule might get uprooted a little bit, and we might see either a down week, just like filler banners this week, or potentially, you know, the teaser's there. So I think that it's potentially the Coke Goku and stuff like that. We'll see what happens, which if we get, for the record, if we get Coke Goku and Vegeta or something like that, anything Dragon Ball Super Broly related on the heels of getting Zenkai Gogeta, I think that's enough of an indicator to where I'm going to start saying it's pretty obvious, right? I think I'm about 90% sure at this point that I think Gogeta Blue is happening. But I think I'm going to say it's pretty obvious at that point. It's just too on the nose because they do things like this, and I don't think they notice it in particular themselves, but they build up to these teams, these compositions, which is why we've been able to predict on the channel here pretty much every major celebration because they just kind of make it a little obvious, right? They're very on the nose when they finally are going to do something. Again, Jiren was incredibly obvious if you paid attention to the signs, and again, he was going to be paired with UI, so it was also obvious by extension. So today I think that's possible as well. It could be in numerous things otherwise, like a Zenkai or whatever, but again, I think their schedules may be uprooted. But the following week, around the time of Jump Festa, that's going to be where the real hype is. A week from today, a week and a half from today, we're going to start seeing the end of year stuff. And that's also, I think, on the same slot as SS4's last year. I think SS4's came out for New Year's last year, so it's going to be in pretty much the same time slot as well. That's when we're really going to see what they're finally doing here. And I think for my final predictions, it's going to be Gogeta, obviously. And it's a very strong possibility that the other characters from the Broly movie are going to wind up getting Zenkai Awakened, at least some of them. And they're just going to continue Dragon Ball Super content for the end of the year, which, yes, I've been saying for a while, people that are looking for SS4 Gogeta, I think he's pretty much completely off the table anytime soon, at least right now for the rest of 2020. I think he's off the table. GT stuff is off the table as a primary feature on a banner. Who knows what they do otherwise. But thank you all for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave your comments and thoughts down below. Oh, last thing I want to throw out, because I did mention like the Rising Battle Broly. I don't know what they're doing with Rising Battle characters or free options. Hopefully they do decide to drop another one soon. But anyways, we'll see what happens. Thank you all, and it's going to be an interesting time here to end the year. So stay tuned. Have an awesome day, and I'll catch all of you in the next one.